All right. Hi there, and welcome to Social Ad Engine's newest webinar, Getting the Best Results for Real Estate for Coldwell Banker. We appreciate you joining us today, and we're going to go through the ins and outs of Facebook advertising, best practices just in general for digital advertising, and we're also going to be showing you a demo of the tool later on in the presentation. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to highlight the key takeaways that you'll be learning about throughout the webinar. So first, why Facebook? You've probably heard some of the benefits of advertising on Facebook, but how does it fit in for you as an agent or a marketing manager for Coldwell Banker? Next, we'll discuss the objectives that Social Ad Engine currently offers, and we'll learn how each of these objectives corresponds to very specific goals. Then we'll briefly talk about interest targeting and how Facebook finds those users who can turn into prospective buyers. And finally, we'll talk about Social Ad Engine. We'll hear from agents who have used it in the past, and then we're going to provide you with a demo of the platform towards the end. Okay, so first and foremost, why Facebook? Facebook has been around for about 16 years now, which is pretty unbelievable if you think about it. It's become a powerhouse in the digital space, which means that when you advertise on Facebook, you also get to advertise on its entire family of apps that Facebook owns. This includes Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Marketplace, and Messenger. Another huge benefit of Facebook is that when it comes to advertising on the platform, targeting has never been easier. With Facebook's capability of having over 1 million different data points on each individual user, they're able to pinpoint who exactly is looking to buy a home. And finally, reporting is available in real time. Social Ad Engine is a Facebook marketing partner, and we really do love its robust reporting capabilities and its capability of garnering real time results from the campaigns that you run. So in summary here, it really is easy to see that Facebook has truly evolved from just being a social platform used for, socializing, catching up with friends, sharing photos of your food and your dinner plans, to a powerful tool that you can use to your advantage in order to sell your listings. And better yet, we know that Facebook advertising really does. It works. 65% of people say that they're influenced by home buying content on their feeds. And if you are still not convinced, this number may shock you. I know it did for me. Worldwide digital advertising is projected to reach over 375 billion by 2021. That is a billion with a B. You absolutely need to be where your competitors are in the digital space in order to stay afloat and sell your listings. All right, so when you first begin to advertise on Facebook, the first and, in our opinion, the most important thing that an agent or a marketing manager must do is choose an objective for the campaign. So before you begin campaign creation within Social Ad Engine, I like to ask a question. What do you really want to achieve when you run that campaign? What is your end goal that you have in mind? Do you want to drive users to your website so that they can look further into a specific property? Do you want to expand your contact list and expand your Rolodex of potential buyers and foster a way to reach out to them directly? Or maybe you want your ad to have increased viewership in order to get the word out about a specific listing or an open house that you have coming up for your property. So these are all very different but important goals that can be achieved using advertising and can all be achieved with the lead generation, brand awareness, and traffic objectives that are found within Social Ad Engine. And before we go any further, I really do want to drive this home, and I want to let you know that there is no wrong objective. Each objective is different, and they all have very different goal-oriented results, but they're all effective. You can also absolutely run campaigns for the same listing at the same time, but just make sure that they are for different objectives. All right, so let's learn about lead generation ads first. And this comes directly from Facebook. Lead ads let Facebook users who are interested in a product or service first fill out a form within the ad with all of their contact details. This will then allow you to reach out to them directly, to set up an appointment, talk to them about purchasing a property, etc. And just a few taps lead to amazing things. So how it works is that when you choose to promote a lead gen ad, people can tap on your ad, most likely using the call to action button, like learn more, and then a form fills up for the user to fill out. It's already going to be pre-populated with their Facebook contact information, which makes it super simple to submit, and it also reduces drop-off. After they submit the form, the lead's contact information will be sent to you via lead router or email. And we'll be talking about this in detail later on in the webinar. And the best part, the best part about lead generation is the fact that you can also add customized questions within Social Ad Engine using our lead form. This will better qualify your lead ads, and you're actually going to see this when we go through the Social Ad Engine demo. So it's really that simple, and you can see on the left here an example of how the ad may appear to a potential prospect. A form is going to appear, and then the user just has to fill out the required information and then slide to submit. Then here is an example of how that form looks within Social Ad Engine. You can see the required questions toward the bottom, but there's also those optional questions towards the top that you can include as well. Again, I'll be showing you this within Social Ad Engine when we go through the demo. So how exactly do your leads get to you? We've mapped out the process a little bit here. So a user will submit their information, which will then be delivered via lead router to the Zap CRM. But that being said, if you do not use lead router, the leads will be sent via email in a CSV file. The leads are often tagged as Facebook or Social Ad Engine. And if one of your leads comes through as secondary, that basically means that the user has previously submitted a lead for another agent. You can reach out to the agent for permission to contact, though. And it really is that simple. And if you have any questions about this process at all, you're welcome to reach out to our help desk, and they can help you. They can help guide you through that process. Okay, so what makes a Facebook lead different? After all, this may be an entirely new medium for you to garner leads. And one word that can best summarize it is the word intent. Facebook is able to match you with users who are interested in purchasing a home. And this all goes back to Facebook's ability to pinpoint millions of data points for each user. So, instead of just throwing caution to the wind and just hoping that your advertising will reach someone who is actually interested, when you target on Facebook and advertise on Facebook, Facebook is actually able to display your ad to those who are truly interested in buying a home. Maybe they're ready to purchase yesterday, or maybe they weren't thinking of buying a home this very minute, but you've piqued their interest, and they'll keep your name in mind when they're ready to take the leap. And maybe they're just ready to talk to an agent no matter where they are in the funnel. So now that we've covered the basics of lead gen, here's just a few do's and don'ts you need to keep in mind when you create your ad. So do build a strategy beyond just garnering those leads. In order for lead generation ads to work, you really do need to follow up with them in a very timely manner. So ensure that you have a process in place to better increase the likelihood of you both contacting your prospects and just making sure that those prospects continue to be interested in your listing. Keep copy short and sweet. I know it can be really tempting to want to write a paragraph describing just how beautiful your listing is, but the reality is that users on Facebook have very short attention spans, and they absolutely will drop off if they're not captivated. So just keep it short and sweet with only the essentials. We mentioned this briefly, but it's always great to include those questions that will better qualify your leads. Just keep in mind that your volume of leads may be smaller, but the quality will most likely be better. And use captivating imagery. It really does go to show that your images should be very clear, bright, and captivating. Excuse me. And then we're actually going to be touching on some tips later on in this presentation. Some don'ts. Don't sound salesy. We want you to connect with your audience and relate to them and be genuine. Don't wait too long to follow up. Again, just goes right back to having a strategy put in place once you start to garner those leads. And don't get impatient. Lead generation really does take time, and fostering these prospects can be a really big commitment. That being said, if you are patient and understanding, this will definitely pay off for you. Okay, and so here is an example that I wanted to show you guys of a really great lead generation ad. So this is how the ad would appear on mobile. You can see the copy is relatively short, the image is very clear, bright, and the agent has also highlighted the key features of the home, not only in the image with the fireplace, but she includes the fireplace in the copy as well. And I really can't emphasize this enough. Follow-up is absolutely key. So when you start to collect those leads, you need to have a strategy put in place in order to follow up with them. You're actually 100 times more likely to establish positive contact with a lead if you call within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes or more. And that being said, we make that very easy to follow up because the leads come to you instantly. Right, so next up we have traffic ads. The traffic objective is a really great way to increase traffic to your listing's web page. So this objective is perfect if you have a listing where you prefer users to reach out or research the property just a little bit further before taking the leap and contacting you directly. Facebook once again finds those users who are looking to buy, and not only just looking to buy, but they're also the users who are most likely to click on the ad, which is extremely helpful when you're wanting to increase traffic to your web page. Something I want to note here is that you should always ensure that you're using a secure link before publishing your ad. And that essentially means that the URL for your web page, it has HTTPS at the beginning of it. So something that is really important to note, and it's sometimes overlooked, but the fact of the matter is that most of the users who will be clicking into your ad are probably viewing from a mobile device. 70% of total web traffic now takes place on mobile. And that's a pretty remarkable percentage. But what that means is that your website needs to be mobile friendly. So here's just a few basic but really important mobile tips for you here to keep in mind. So be sure to simplify your mobile page as much as possible. Only leave the essentials and make sure that the web page doesn't look too busy. Next, always make sure that your images will also work for mobile. You don't want them to be grainy or pixelated when viewing on a phone. Load times, again, often overlooked, but you want to make sure that your load times are just as great as they are on a desktop. You really don't want a user to skip out on looking at your page because the screen took way too long to load. And then finally, check your form fills and test that they work for mobile as well. Here's just a few more tips for landing pages in general. Again, simplicity is key. Keep the page straightforward and simple. Again, make sure that those landing pages are mobile optimized. Be sure to make submission forms and inquiries obvious. You don't want the form fill to be hidden somewhere deep on the website and then risk the user exiting the page before giving you their contact information. And then formatting is really important too. Always make sure to put the most important features of the website front and center. Don't make the user do all the work. Again, make it simple. You want it very easy to navigate and make those form fills easy to find. This is simple, but it can often be overlooked. Make sure that the user feels appreciated by including a thank you page after they submit a form. Don't go overboard with the details. And finally, again, keep that load time in mind for optimal web performance. And remember, we have really short attention spans these days. Roughly half of all page visitors leave just after 8 seconds. So make sure that your website is clear and easy to use in order to avoid drop-off. Just a few more traffic ad do's and don'ts that I wanted to include here. Again, use effective copy that inspires a reaction from a user. The reaction, of course, would be to click on your ad so that it directs them to your webpage. And always ensure, again, you're using a secure website link. Keep your copy short and sweet, and make sure that you have that form fill on your landing page so that users can enter in their contact info. This is a huge, huge, huge don't. Don't be deceiving in the copy of the ad. So if a user clicks on your ad and they visit your website, it absolutely needs to reflect what was mentioned in your ad. End of story. And again, cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have your site mobile friendly. All right, and here is an example of a traffic ad, and this is how it would be displayed on mobile. The image is really captivating. Copy is short and sweet. She includes the essentials, and to me, this seems like something that I would want to click on if I was interested in buying a home. They can definitely do that using that Learn More CTA button right here. Okay, so last but certainly not least, we have brand awareness ads. So the brand awareness objective is for advertisers who want to show ads to people who are more likely to recall them. So think of brand awareness ads as a billboard, with the Facebook newsfeed being the road. And the great thing about brand awareness is that it really does foster trust in your community. And the more visibility that your brand has, the higher likelihood of the user recalling your brand and turning to you as an expert resource in the area. So as we mentioned, awareness ads are ideal if you'd like to garner awareness for your property listing, your office, or for an open house that you may have coming up. And similar to the other objectives, you need to keep your call to action short and sweet, and be sure to keep track of the number of impressions that your ad is receiving in the reporting dashboard of Social Ad Engine. Again, I'll be showing you that later on in this demo. So we briefly mentioned that brand awareness ads are kind of like a billboard. The neat thing about awareness ads, though, is that unlike a billboard that you see on the side of the road and on the highway when you're driving, brand awareness ads are highly targeted and displayed to those who not only will be most likely to recall your ad, but they're also displayed to those who want to buy a home. And again, that goes back to the data points that Facebook has for each user. So the benefits are very clear. With brand awareness, you can get the word out about your open house and your new listings. You can establish a following in your community and reach a very large amount of people who you wouldn't otherwise interact with. Okay, and so I wanted to include some do's and don'ts for brand awareness ads. Do create a sense of urgency in your ad, especially if you have an open house. Thinking about the timing of the campaign. So if you have an open house that weekend, it's recommended to probably start promoting your ad around Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. Do be a person. I know it sounds silly, but we really do encourage agents to have their own unique voice when it comes to actually promoting your ads, especially since these ads will be showcased in front of a really large volume of users. And do measure your impact. Again, this could be overlooked in many cases, but keep tabs on your website traffic when running your ads, because there's probably going to be a correlation there. Don't cram too much copy. Short and sweet is always a way to go. And don't use too much text in your images for brand awareness ads. Follow Facebook's 20% rule, which essentially means that you can't have an ad that has 20% of it or more than 20% of it as text. And if you have a few questions about that, our help desk is always willing to answer any questions you may have. A few more. Don't use the same old strategy. Test, 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 test. I cannot say that enough. At Social Ad Engine, we really, really do love ABC testing, and we really do recommend it for you guys. Okay. And here is an example of a brand awareness ad. You can see the copy is intriguing, image is clear, it's very impactful, and the agent actually creates a sense of urgency when mentioning that the open house is during the weekend. All right, so we covered all three objectives. So now I want to dive into some recommendations that work for just about any objective. So, did you know that exterior photos normally have a higher click through rate and they also receive more impressions than interior photos? So, that being said, if you have a photo of the exterior of the house, we always recommend including this in your campaign. We're going to go into a little further detail about the different image variations that you can include within your ads in the demo. But I do want to point out that you will have 3 images to choose from for your campaign. So if you don't have exterior photos, kitchens tend to work really well, living rooms, backyards, nice bathrooms. The main thing here that you want to keep in mind is you just need to make sure that your image is bright, it's airy, it's clear. We do not want blurry images. All right, and here's some copy tips for you. So we have ran thousands of campaigns here at Social Ad Engine. And when you promote an ad for the first time, you're going to notice that there's already going to be an ad auto-populated for you using what you've previously written for the headline, the body copy, and even the link description. But that being said, you can absolutely customize each part of the ad. So having the address and the headline is always a really good idea. The body copy is the main descriptor of the ad, so be sure to include some key features of the property. Just make sure it's not too long so that you can keep your audience intrigued. The link description is a really great way to share, any other additional info with the user. Based on the testing that we've ran, we recommend including the number of bathrooms, bedrooms, as well as the square footage. And when it comes to special characters, we really recommend keeping it simple. And these rules actually come from Facebook. The punctuation needs to be kept to a minimum, and don't use too much capitalization. And you can also use our tooltips that are found within Social Ad Engine, and they're just used as a way to guide you through the campaign creation process and help with best practices. So if you hover over these little eyes right here, the tooltip will appear for you and can help guide you through. Okay, so we talked about best practices for copy and objective, but what about best practices for targeting? Um, so you can see when you use Social Ad Engine, there's going to be a few different ways for you to target. You can either use default targeting or city targeting. If you use default targeting, that's essentially going to be a 25-mile radius around your listing's address. That being said, you know the markets much better than we do, and if you have certain cities in mind, it's no problem at all. You can absolutely target different cities. We do recommend keeping the cities to a minimum of 5 or less. Again, it kind of goes back to simplicity and keeping it simple. Facebook's auto optimization is going to do the rest for you. But the targeting doesn't just stop at location. And what I mean by that is, there's probably not a lot of high schoolers interested in buying a home. You will be targeting people 18 and above. So again, high schoolers are probably not your ideal demographic. So the next step is to actually identify the people in the radius or the circle who are actual interested home buyers. I've said this a couple of times now, but Facebook is able to pinpoint applicable users with the astounding number of data points that they have stored. So, Facebook actually knows with confidence the users who are perhaps browsing Zillow to buy a home, or maybe they've recently visited the website of one of your competitors. Facebook is actually able to capture those users and then serve your ad to those people directly, whether it's on, the newsfeed, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, etc. All right, so you've learned a lot. The million-dollar question you may be asking is, why Social Ad Engine? Social Ad Engine is purpose-built for you as a Coldwell Banker agent. It is already in line with best practices due to the thousands of campaigns that we've tested in order to achieve the best results for you. Customizations are very, very easy, and they're to ensure that you're promoting in a way that works for you and your marketing strategy. And finally, reporting is included in a very digestible way. All right. I just wanted to point out a few of these stats here. So as of January 2020, we have ran over 10,000 campaigns since our initial launch. We've captured 177,533 leads, aka prospects, for agents around the country. The average cost per lead when using Social Ad Engine actually happens to be significantly lower than the industry standard. So the cost per lead is $4.33. And it's even lower when you add those custom questions into your lead form. A few more stats here. The cost per 1,000 impressions is also incredibly low at $2.31, while the average CPC, or cost per click, is 13 cents. But don't take it from us. Take it from your peers. So Kim from Spectrum Pro said that 3 or 4 different agents have ran an ad, and we've seen some really great results and look forward to getting the whole office up and running. All right, so if you're actually wanting to use Social Ad Engine, all you really need to do is visit CB Exchange or Desk. It's just really depending on what you use. There's going to be a tile in both that says Social Ad Engine. And once you click on that tile, you'll be met with the actual onboarding process to get started. So this is how it looks on Exchange, and then I'm just going to hover over here for a second, and this is how it looks on Desk. So again, it's just dependent on what you use. All right, so on that note, I am actually going to show you a demo here. Okay. So when you first begin to use Social Ad Engine via your intranet, you're going to be met with this onboarding screen. So as it says here, you need to review and accept the terms and conditions before proceeding. So once you do that, you can check this box that says that you've read it, click enter. All right, so here's where you're actually going to connect your Facebook account. And then in order to use Social Ad Engine, you need to use a Facebook business page. You cannot use a personal page. And if you do have any questions about that, again, our help desk is more than happy to help guide you through this process. So all you need to do is click this button right here. And here's where the initial onboarding process will begin. So as it says, it'll take approximately 5 minutes or less. So all you need to do is start this by clicking the next button here. All right, and here's where you're actually going to connect that page. So to do so, you need to click this white tile, and all of the pages that you are an admin of will appear here for you to select from. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to go ahead and click Jackie Klein's Real Estate and connect this page. So click Continue. And you can see that the page was connected successfully because the tile turned from white to blue. So let's click Next. All right, we need our acceptance for lead ads. So let's click Review. Once you read through the terms of service, all you need to do is click Accept here. And it was that simple. You are all done and you are ready to go. So once you click Finish, you'll actually be brought to this Overview tab. So think of the Overview tab as like the home page for Social Ad Engine. So here in this Overview section, you will see all of the recent campaigns that you've ran, as well as the objective associated. You can see the current listings available. And then here's just a brief activity snapshot. I really do want to focus, though, on the Campaigns tab. All right, so within the Campaigns tab, you're going to have a few options. We have agent branding campaigns where you can actually promote yourself. This is very, very new. This actually just launched in March of 2020. And this is just a great way to get your name out there, even if you don't have a listing. So I'll just show you briefly what these ads look like. So you can see you already have some best practice copy auto-populated for you, and you can also edit the images and upload your own. I do want to mainly focus, though, on listing campaigns. So again, this is the agent branding campaign section, but you also can promote your listings. And if you are a marketing manager and you're representing your brokerage or your office, you can also promote on behalf of other agents within your office. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and promote 4026 Bald Eagle Street. All you need to do to promote is click that button here. And I'm going to scroll for you. Similar to the agent branding campaigns, you essentially already have an ad created for you. All of that copy is being pulled in from what you've written previously. But that being said, you absolutely can customize basically any portion of this ad, starting with the objective. So we went through all of the objectives. As you can see here, this is where you'll actually be able to select. So you can see I want to drive traffic to my listing webpage, I want to drive awareness to this listing, or I want to drive leads. I want to show you this lead form now. So if you select leads as your objective, here's where you'll actually get to see that lead form. All you need to do is click this plus button here to expand it. And you can see the required questions. What is your first name, last name, email, and phone number? And you can also see these optional questions up here, like how soon you're looking to purchase a home, how would you describe your interest level for this particular house, or are you currently pre-approved to buy a home? If you do not want to include these in your lead form, all you need to do is uncheck this box right here. All right. So I mentioned that these are all in line with best practices, but you can go in and customize any portion of the copy. So all you need to do is click within this gray form fill right here and change it. And the cool thing about this is that your change is actually going to be reflected in real time. You can do the same with the text, the link description, and that URL. Again, just please make sure that you're using a secure link. Okay, so after you either change the copy or review the copy, you can also edit your images. And you can see here that we actually have 3 images for you to choose from. That's because we do ABC testing. That's just a great way to auto-optimize and make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. There will be some default images that pull in, but that being said, all you need to do to edit or change an image is click on it, and all of the images associated with this listing will appear here. So I really like this photo of the pool. All you need to do is click on it, and that change will be reflected in real time. All right, I recommend saving your content as you go, and then moving down to targeting. So I did mention this briefly, but if you use the default targeting here, that's essentially the listing address and then a 25-mile radius around that address. You can also choose specific cities, as I mentioned. All you need to do is select this button. The search bar will appear where you can type and search for the specific city. You can select it, and then you can also include an optional radius. Just keep in mind the minimum radius, if you choose to select a radius, is 15 miles. All right, we are almost done. The next step is selecting your budget. So you can see that we have some different prices ranging from $69 all the way up to $349. And these prices correspond to very specific campaign flights and campaign durations. At this time, these are pretty set in stone. The $69 price point corresponds to a 5-day campaign. $349, I believe it corresponds to a 14-day campaign or a 2-week campaign. In order for you to choose, all you need to do is just toggle using this slide bar here. So let's see, I want to choose a $129 campaign. It's really that simple. And again, these are pretty set in stone, and the reason for it is we've tested, again, thousands of campaigns, and we have realized that these specific price points and the specific campaign durations tend to yield the best results for you. All right, you can choose to publish now or publish later. If you choose publish now, it's exactly what it says. After you click the pay button, your campaign will go live shortly thereafter. Or you can publish later. If you choose publish later, this calendar will appear here, and you can choose the specific date that you want the campaign to start running. All right, all you need to do now is enter in your payment details. So that includes email address, card number. Then you need to accept the terms and conditions once again. Once you do so, you can click pay, and the listing's being generated. It's really that simple. I want to say right now that there's no need to refresh the page. You are good to go from here on out. Okay, so the last tab that I want to show you within Social Ad Engine is the reporting tab. And this is where all of the previous campaigns that you've ran, all of their data will live here. So you can see each campaign broken out by the listing address. You can see the objective, the dates that they ran, the status of the campaign. And I also want to show you more detailed reporting. So if you want to see a breakdown of reporting for each listing, all you need to do is click this view button right here. A report will be generated for you. So for this property, you can see that it achieved 129 leads, which is great. Had that campaign cost per lead of $4.33, and it achieved almost 6,000 impressions, which is great. You can also see the different image variations. All you need to do is click on the image, and that will be reflected here. And you can also see the different ways in which your campaign was displayed on Facebook's family of apps. So this is how it looks on desktop. You can also see how it looks on mobile, right column, and Instagram. And finally, I want to show you a really, really cool feature that Social Ad Engine provides. If you click this download report button, you're going to have a seller report generated for you. This seller report is completely approved by legal. All you need to do is click on that button. You can download this, print it out, and hand directly to your seller. It's just a great way to show not only the effort that you're putting in to sell their home, but it's really cool to see the traction that the property is getting. Again, just a really neat little feature. I know a lot of agents love this, and it's a very effective tool. All right. Excuse me as I switch gears here once more. Okay, so what does it cost? So we did go through those different price points and package tiers a little bit. And again, this just makes it easy for agents to make a very quick decision and publish their campaigns quickly. These tiers are created based on best practice combinations of the campaign objective, the budget, and then the flight duration to give you the best bang for your buck. Okay, that is really all that we have for now. That being said, our help desk is here to help 24/7. You can either email or call. It's really dependent on what you prefer. If you want to email, that email address is help@coldwellbanker.com, or give us a call at 877-426-5393. All right, so now what? If you want to start running campaigns, all you need to do to start using Social Ad Engine is connect your page, as I showed you in the onboarding process. You can choose from one of your listings, or you can promote yourself, choose an objective, and you can start to see those results come through. Again, just want to briefly touch on this. I know I showed it to you in the demo, but we really truly are excited for these new agent branding campaigns. We know that some agents don't have listings all the time, so we're making it easy to promote yourself regardless. Again, similar to our listing campaigns, these ads are in line with best practices to ensure that you can promote yourself, your office, any of your unique offerings across Facebook's entire family of apps at any time. So again, we'd love for you guys to check these out and let us know what you think. Finally, if you want to learn more, we have more webinars coming up. We hope that you found value in this. We will be presenting a new webinar soon titled Killer Copy, Writing for Social Advertising, and that will be releasing in April of 2020. And if you have any questions at all, you can search Social Ad Engine within CB Exchange or CB Desk. Also wanted to show you within your intranet, there's also several previous webinars that you can look at. And again, hopefully you found value in this. We have a lot of other training materials that you can view. If you have any questions about this at all, again, feel free to reach out to our help desk. All right, that is all that we have. Thank you so much for joining us. We know you are very, very busy. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And we really do look forward to seeing your campaigns in Social Ad Engine.